Yes. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Tim Derling. Welcome again to Tim's Final Confessions. Thank you so much for watching. This is another cassette episode, and I've got my cassette experts here. Experts in the field. Chris Preston from My Rock and Roll Heaven. Hello again, Chris.
Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Jax. Excited
And
to geek out again over some cassettes.
and of course, yes, the one and the only Jax Russell returning to talk some cassettes. This is we had a lot of fun doing our super cassette episodes, the Warner Music of Canada series. This time we're picking on CBS Records of Canada, so all the CBS associated like Epic and Columbia and such. And we're going to talk about the I'm not sure when they started, but the 70s era of cassettes where they were sort of yellowish. The J cards sort of were yellowish on the side with black lettering, and the cassettes were often sort of yellowish or off-white. A lot
really
of these,
crappy sound quality.
yeah, depending on the age they or the shape they were in when you found them. A lot of times they're very yellow, and a lot of times they're not. So I'm curious as to what we all have. So we're going to divide these up because there is a period where they changed the design a little bit, but we're gonna go through the first, I guess, iteration of these when they were just sort of yellowish with black lettering. And I'm gonna let Chris start us off with his pile.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. So I was surprised they actually didn't have as many of these ones as I thought I did, just based on the size of my cassette collection overall. So I've only got, when it actually came down to it, I've got 10, but I have a couple of copies of one of them and one that's kind of like I'm going to call it a cheater. So we'll see what you guys think. Anyways, so first off is a very old original copy of Aerosmith Rocks.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this one is one of my favorite Aerosmith albums.
Yeah, me too.
And this is interesting. So I don't know if you'll have any of, look at this cassette.
Stickers, yeah.
Yeah.
And the front on that is different too. The lettering is a little different.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh? So this one's got that yellow sticker.
But the front of the J card even.
And the front of the J card, yeah. So the J,
yeah.
Guys, this J card is so thin. Like the paper is so thin. It's like almost falling apart. I don't know if that's, that was just made cheaply.
Wow.
But no, hey, look at that detail there, eh? Wow.
I don't think a single one of these yellow cassettes has anything on it, and none of the ones I have anything on the inside of them.
I think you're right. I think
think you might have an original Canadian press.
Yeah, 76. And one of the funny things I found too on the front of the J card was this, right? Playable on stereo or monaural equipment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's like when you get a 45 that's got the A side is the song in stereo and the B side is mono, and they did that way longer than you'd ever think they would have needed to.
Yeah, I guess if we remember the old cassette players, it was just the little square one that you'd print.
Yeah,
you'd use it
one
on that
speaker. Yeah,
this one actually still plays.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Oh yeah, I'm excited. That's a good start. So
good start. Kick this off good.
Yeah, keep on going.
All right, so I'll go again. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going and I'll go through my pile.
Okay, another original. I picked this up somewhere in the last couple of years. Classic Canadian album, right?
Nice.
Loverboy self-titled debut. Very similar in style. Of course, J card, nothing, right? In the middle, of course. And this one has the printing directly on the cassette.
Yeah. Very familiar looking, that style to me.
But man, I hate these color of cassettes. Like this thing is so dirty.
Yeah.
Gross looking. Not great. And then another thing that I don't know when this got added, especially to Canadian issues of any cassette. If you can see down there, we're all familiar with that. Also,
the maple. Yeah.
Music, artist, producer, and what is it?
Production, lyrics. Yeah. MAP,
lyrics,
music, artist, production, lyrics.
Yeah. And to preserve album continuity, one side is of shorter duration. That was a common thing on a lot of tapes back in the day. Loverboy again.
Yeah.
Their second album, Get Lucky. Again, very similar. All these CBS issues at this time, right?
But
Nothing.
that was a little different because for some reason they put the title over top of the band name.
Yes, they did on that one. You're right. And whether or not all the rumors and urban legends about whose butt that is, we won't get into that.
No, we will not.
And similar again.
But I'm curious now. I didn't hear these rumors.
Afterwards, Jax, you Google that.
Never mind, Jax. Never mind.
Move along.
It's not Reno.
So 2 Lover Boys. That'll come up again later in my first set, and when we get into the CBS ones, there's some similarities there, obviously. So this one's I'm gonna say, so it's kind of off. It's off white.
Yes.
It's not white. It's not yellow. It's in between.
That's really interesting that you've got that there, and I think you probably know why. That's interesting.
Maybe I don't. You know,
because we're into. I mean, by now with the 2 Loverboy albums, we're into the early '80s, right?
Oh, that's right.
Band
Yeah,
on the
right.
Run came out in '73, but there was that window when McCartney was signed to Columbia, because originally that album would have been on Capitol, right? And in most any copy you've ever seen is on Capitol because it's a Beatles label, right? But you can find some of those copies, so that would have been an early '80s reissue.
And that's the MPL Communications 1973. That must have been McCartney's production whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it stands for, but unless it stood for, I don't know, McCartney, Paul, Linda, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. One other thing
somebody out there knows.
Yeah, let us know. One other thing that changed. This is the first cassette in the pile that will have this. You can see
the embossed. Yeah, I always liked that.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Agreed. I kind of, I don't know. It's maybe a geeking out thing with the Canadian maple leaf there, right? I just thought it was a good added touch that maybe
it's almost Braille.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, you're right. Now we get into those are my only black on yellow.
Okay, so
lettering.
At this point, I do not believe that Jax has any with just the black lettering on them.
Yeah.
So you sit tight, Jax. You sit tight.
Sit tight.
Unless you found one.
I think, because I didn't understand the assignment, but if you want to do a little snip here, I can run, and I think I have a couple I can show off.
Oh, no, we're leaving everything in, but go ahead.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Yeah. The McCartney and Wings ones are really interesting because eventually you'll find they got reissued by Capitol, probably by the mid 80s. That's really interesting when you have 2 completely different labels that have that the same artist on them. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
But that also gives you a pretty good idea of when that reissue is actually done based on the serial number.
Exactly. And this too, right? Look.
Yeah. Now, see, I have some like that. I actually saved those for my second pile.
Gotcha.
But that's all right. So, Jax, what did we find?
All right. I didn't know what you guys meant when you said black lettering, but when I saw Chris's pile, I'm like, I have some of those. I have 4.
Oh, there you go.
They're all by the same band.
Okay.
Judas Priest.
Oh, yeah.
Sin After Sin. Is this the right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
See,
okay.
Now, it's not Jax's fault, guys. I absolutely suck at explaining things. I thought it was obvious.
It's all good, though.
Yellow
I suck
and black lettering.
I suck at understanding stuff. So, all right, we have stained glass with
first time that's shown up.
Now that looks like a slightly later issue.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not yellow.
Dioxide.
But that's interesting. Yeah, chromium. Yeah, interesting.
But it has the bust.
Yeah, those also lead to something that I did notice when they did reissue a lot of these, which we'll get into on another episode. Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah.
I have a CD version of this on the way, courtesy of Tim Durley.
Excellent.
No, you don't.
Oh, plot twist. And lastly, point of entry.
Oh, with that
the
crazy album cover.
with the computer paper cover.
Yes.
Or different interpretation if you've heard, depending on.
Well, yeah.
We'll leave that aside.
Yeah. Better left unsaid. Now, I've got quite a pile of these, actually. I'm a little surprised that I'm the one with the most of them. I thought Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we'll get started with it. So we are, in case anybody's wondering, we are going in order of the serial numbers. That usually means chronologically, but not always, as we've already seen when it comes to reissues. And there's a couple of others that jump ahead a little bit, but I think there's a reason for that. Anyway, we'll start off with first Boston. I mean, this has been reissued countless times.
Yep, you got an original there.
Yeah, and this one is a very, very dark, like almost beigey kind of color. And when they've been out in the sun, you can kind of tell because the holes get kind of burned into the.
That's part of the charm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff. This is all stuff I always thought, oh, I'm the only one who noticed this, but I love hearing other people talk about it. Like, yes, we understand.
We do.
This one's a pretty old one. Kansas Point of No Return. The writing on it kind of looks like like Chris's Rocks cassette. So that, and this one goes back far enough to have a sticker on it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So that's 77. Now we're up to 78 and the first Toto album.
Great album.
Yeah. This also has a sticker, and somebody got hungry on this one. Took a little bite out of it. It actually almost, well, no. It'd be funny if you could peel the sticker off and it still had the writing on it, but it doesn't.
Right.
I think, and not that I've done it, but I think this would tell me because there'd be a little bit of writing in the corner if that were the case.
Right.
Okay, next up, 1978 still. Heart, Dog and Butterfly. And with that nice price sticker. This is a pretty old one too, based on the printing and everything. This one's on portrait. Now it's got the embossed. Whether or not it's the original case, I don't know.
I did
another
sticker. Yeah, another sticker. Yeah. I was trying to do some research on does anybody remember what was the nice price? Like what
I don't know what it would have been. Every label had their version of that. I mean, Warner had their Super Savers.
Exactly.
I mean, Polygram went so far as to put out the Priceless collection.
Yes.
And anyone who's collected Canadian Kiss tapes knows about that. But anyway, yeah. Another Kansas one. This is two for the show. Now, this one's really old, but I don't know where that logo comes from that looks like it's written. That's not the Kansas logo. And I've only ever seen it on this very cassette, double tape value, of course. I guess this one does have a little red lettering on it.
I've never seen that logo. Is that wow?
It's not their logo, but and then now I don't think this is the original case because that sticker on here, that would probably be the late 80s, but this is just what came in. And this could be the last of the ones with stickers on them. Now we're into 79. Cheap Trick Dream Police.
Oh, there we go. Love that album cover.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
My dad had that exact tape.
Right on. And there's the cassette. Now that's the more familiar. This is what I remember seeing as a youngin. Here's one that I actually found sealed, and I believe it's got a price written on it of 90. I think it might be 99. I don't know, but it's Kansas and Monolith, 1979. Now that is the Kansas logo.
That is, yep.
They also use it on the side. It's one of my favorite logos, and I'm assuming it's just I don't think it's a sticker at this point. 78 seems to be the cutoff. Now, one of my favorite albums. Might even be I've argued as this is my favorite, believe it or not. Night in the Ruts.
Wow.
Love this album so much.
Wow.
Yeah. Love
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
Yeah, I argued on the contrarians for it. I said, there's just nothing wrong with this album. It gets a bad rap because of the time of the band's history that it came out, but listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, I will go back
I also love it. I think it's great.
Okay, so we're still hanging out in 1979. Second Toto album, Hydra.
Another underrated one.
For sure. Now, there's also a very strange version of this that CBS Special Products put out in 1985.
Oh.
Because they'd be like truck stop tapes. And
right.
It's this album, but it looks different. And I tried to find that version online and I couldn't. Our friend Mike Ladano, I ended up sending him an American copy of this because I could not find a Canadian one. This is Journey in the Beginning.
Oh, geez, I need to find that one.
Not the easiest Canadian one to find for sure. Yeah.
I'd like to get that just for the sheer fact of I'd like to go back and revisit those first three, which I really haven't.
Oh, I love that early stuff. Yeah. Again, I don't think that's the original cassette or case that it came in. Now, this one's very bright.
Hey, it's very clean.
Yeah, very clean tape. It's almost white. I said in our chat I only had one soundtrack, and this is it.
Oh, Star Trek, the motion
picture. Most boring film ever made.
Yeah, that
it looks cool.
I saw that in the theater and fell asleep. I was 8.
I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be Top Gun. I don't know why.
So I did an episode a long time ago on my Star Trek soundtrack cassettes, because what intrigued me about, so for the first 6 movies, every one that would come out was on a different label, and I just thought that was the weirdest things. This one happens to be on Columbia.
That's wild.
Yeah. And this is very dark, this tape. Yeah, so it's it. Main title, Klingon battle, leaving dry dock the Cloud, the Enterprise, Helios theme, V'ger, Flyber, I am V'ger, the Meld, Spock walk, and end title. There you go.
Classic tracks there.
Oh, yeah. I am V'ger. That was such a weird movie. Okay. All right, Journey Departure, 1980. Love the artwork. This one's kind of dark too. I can't believe I have so many more of these.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
This is one of my favorite albums from Kansas, Audio Visions. It's got this label on this logo on the side. Again, that's not their label, but it's the 8-track looks like this too.
It's so weird.
Yeah. But they actually use the real Kansas logo on the cassette itself.
Huh.
Oh. Also, the Kirshner Records logo is very interesting. It's just the 4 circles, and it makes a K by the lines that are drawn. Oh, yeah, it's really hard to see here. And a familiar one here. Mine's personalized because Rena Jones signed it.
Oh, Rena. She loved that album.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to be confused with Mike Rena. So, yeah, just now this one's really bright.
Wow.
Now, this is a Frankenstein one, because I've got the original J card, but the tape itself is obviously a much newer. It's Journey Escape.
Yep.
But the tape, was disintegrated, so I've got a much later issue of it.
Oh, yeah, on the clear.
Oddly enough, same serial number. They kept using the same serial number. And once again, get lucky. No,
in every Canadian's collection?
I think so, yeah. This has a stamp inside the J card, August 31st, 1982. I don't know if this was a library copy. Maybe it might have been. And I've only got one more, and this one's actually from 82, but this is before the switch happened. So it's total 4. Which came out in, I think, April of 82. Because very soon they would switch their design. Now, this is an older one where it says CBS Maple Leaf made in Canada. So
Yeah.
you once in a while you'll see ones like that.
A couple of
And
those.
the printing on here is a little bit bigger too. So there you go. So yeah, like I said, at this point, they're continuing to make the cassettes with this yellowish color on them. But there was something that they changed, and it's the name of the artist. They started printing it in much bigger, bolder letters and in red. So they're kind of easier to read. So we'll go over to Chris and we'll get him to talk about his red/yellow CBS cassettes.
Yep. And I'm surprised I don't have more of these, because at the time, this is when I was really starting to get into music. So, 82, 83, I was 11, and I had just joined Columbia House, right? And so these ones have some sentimental value to me. But again, I'm surprised I don't have more. So the first one up is an album by my first favorite band ever. And I have 3 copies of it.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Nice.
This is the album that I fell in love with. And actually, when I talk to people, this is what got me into rock music, was Eye of the Tiger. That's the song. So these copies, these aren't the original cases on these two. These are the, everything's the same in terms of the design of them, the cassettes themselves, the J cards. There's nothing, I won't open them, but there's nothing on the J card. The difference on the third one is, so this is a sealed copy that I found. Ooh. It's starting to, there's a little bit of plastic coming off, but there you go, Tim. There's what you were just referencing.
Yeah, same idea.
CBS made in Canada. So, and it's got that kind of ridged.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There, right? But I don't know what color the cassette is. The color, I'm assuming it's the same as these ones.
It would be, I would
yellow
think.
white.
Could be.
Yeah.
But this is I happen to own a copy of this on every format, and I have a sealed vinyl copy as well. So this one's a special one for me. And I've got multiple copies of that. I've even got an 8-track of that, that was the first.
I think you showed me that. I got that one too.
First one I ever got.
Yeah.
Of course, I think everyone's got this. Got to have Thriller, right?
Yeah. That was the copy. My sister had that. So that was the copy that was in our household.
I think every household had this on one format or another.
I would say.
Yeah. Nice, clean copy. This one is. And so I'm wondering if it was around this time in 82 that they made the full switch to the embossed case. I'm guessing.
An episode we're going to do in the near future. That cassette was pivotal to my first realizing there's such a thing as reissues, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. Loverboy's coming up a lot in this conversation, obviously, for obvious reasons. And there's Keep It Up. So this is an original copy of Keep It Up. Great album. Again, you'll start to see this on most of mine now with the embossed. But CBS started to, there's the case itself. Nice.
Yeah.
Right? Guess what they started to do?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I've never seen one of these yellow cassettes that had anything inside of them. But then right? I never had that version of Keep It Up.
So this is 82, and it's full, like full lyrics. It's the whole works.
That's so cool.
Whether or not that was one-off, and they did that for that album, and
they were so big, like that they were such a big band at that point, not just in Canada, but in the States too. I'd have lost a bet on that if somebody had asked me if there's any yellow cassettes that had lyrics and credits that might have said nah.
I think that's the only one I've ever seen. This one, I'll give you a little history as I get into more of the CBS cassettes when we get to the next batch. So Survivor, Caught in the Game. This is sealed, never opened.
Oh, wow.
Even I don't know what that is. Somebody's got something up there, and it's got that CBS.
Got the barcode.
Yeah, we'll switch to the barcodes now. This is a great album, actually. It is. It bombed after Eye of the Tiger, but It's actually really good.
You know what?
Honestly,
Chris, and we're going to do. You're very, very bright.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that.
We'll get into this later, but it wasn't probably until the turn of the millennium, like right around the year 2000, that I realized that there was an album in between Eye of the Tiger and Vital Signs. That's how much it bombed.
Yeah,
but it's great. The title song is great. I love Slander. I think that's a great song. Yeah, it's good stuff on there.
Yeah, and it's a great video for the title track too.
Yeah,
this is my last of the red band lettering, and I think again everybody in Canada has some version of this on some format.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's got this. I still have my original vinyl copy that is so beat up. I played the hell out of this thing, like played it to death. But again, that style of cassette, nothing on the J card. So
that's one of Jex's box CDs.
Yeah, and that very cassette, that's the one my dad had. That's how I discovered that band. Yeah,
it's such a great 80s album, right? Like
I love it.
I
love it.
Oh, and sorry, there is one more, and this is my cheater one. That it's yellow. I'll just show you guys.
Okay, yeah. I think I know why you're showing it too.
Yeah, Toronto Greatest Hits. This is sealed, distributed by CBS Records.
Yeah.
Right, but they were on solid gold.
Yeah.
At the time, and
the lettering looks very much like.
Exactly. So I kind of included in there as the kind of the yellow one-off. But this was obviously actually, you know what it's saying on here? The date is actually 1978, which is interesting, right?
I would have thought that was all later than that.
It is. So how is that?
I wonder if that's supposed to be 88.
Because if this collection came out in 1984.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how this sealed copy.
I think that's a typo. I think that's supposed to be 88 because I think their greatest hits and Chilliwack's greatest hits came out in 88.
Yeah.
Or a reissued version.
Right.
And that might have been when Solid Gold switched to CBS distribution. It's never for no reason, but we know these typos happen because, like Jackson and I talked about, if you get the original Canadian CD to Boston Don't Look Back, which came out in 78, all of the Canadian CDs I've ever seen say 1987. So.
Oh, there you go.
So Jex, what have you got for yellow sets with red lettering?
Yellow and red. Before I get into it, real quick, I want to mention I remembered another black lettering that I do have that I forgot to grab. I'll just say it. Canada's own Harlequin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love Crimes. I do have that one. I forgot to grab it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year it came out, but that is one I have.
Yeah, it came out in 1980. Yeah.
Right, with Thinking of You.
Thinking of You, great song. Yeah, it had Thinking of You, it had Innocence, it had I guess those were the two big ones, but yeah, great.
Yeah, it's the one album to have if you're gonna buy any.
I think so, yeah.
So this is a band we've already seen twice, and this is another underrated album in my opinion.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You got a yellow version of that. Yeah, I love that album.
I don't own that one. I need that one.
This one and Rockin' a Hard Place are two underappreciated Aerosmith albums. What did I say?
You said Rockin' a Hard Place, but that is Rockin' a Hard Place.
Oh yeah,
you mean Night in the Ruts. Yeah, the dark years for Aerosmith. They still put out good albums.
Exactly. Back to some heavy metal.
See, that's the one. I knew you had that one. So I knew you had at least one to talk about.
Yeah, this is what got the ball rolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show off almost all of my Judas Priest today.
Yeah, that's great.
And in a future episode too. Keeping up with the heavy metal theme.
Nice. Yeah.
The devil. This is going to drive Chris crazy. It's got the price tag still.
The funny thing about that is I've actually seen a Canadian Columbia House 8-track version of that, and it looks like that. It's got the yellow with the red lettering on it.
Oh, cool.
And you won't find that at Value Village.
No, but I found this one at Value Village.
Yeah.
That album
yeah.
cover terrified me when I was a kid. Walking by the
Oh.
record store and seeing that, I was terrified.
Yeah, no, for sure. Me too. Me too. Oh, this is to our UK friends. This is
Talk
of
of
the
the
Devil.
Devil. Yeah,
Never
you know
understood
what?
that.
I remember reading that once, and I didn't understand why they were different. But I guess the expression, they never say
Right.
"speak of the devil" over there. Oh well, talk of the devil. Look who's
Yeah.
here. So yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Exactly. Quiet Riot,
Yeah, that's a
Classic.
pretty popular. Yeah,
Mental Health. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't seen this one yet.
I have a version of that, but it's obviously a later issue.
Okay. I just realized I haven't been showing the cassettes, but they all look fairly similar.
yeah, yeah.
And my last one, very, very heavy stuff. Very heavy stuff. Except
Oh, see,
Restless and
I knew Jack Spring would bring the heavy. He always does.
I always do.
Yeah.
There you go. And that
That's
is
such a
my
heavy band to get picked up by a major label when they were.
Yeah.
You know?
And you either like I tried with them, but I just couldn't get into Udo's voice. I just
Definitely an acquired taste. Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
It
Metal
is.
Heart
Yeah,
I have
I can
because I liked
understand.
Midnight Mover, but I just could yeah.
Yeah. This is very raw stuff. And it was actually on I don't know if you can see that. It's on Portrait,
Yeah.
which would eventually pick up Rat for that one album that they
That one
did
album. Yeah, that was the
later.
the reunification. Yeah, at the time that would have come out, Portrait was probably best known for Cyndi Lauper.
Yes.
Right.
Makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. Cyndi Lauper, except
Diverse.
yes.
That's all I have for the
okay.
red lettering.
So I've only got 4. One of them we've already seen. I've only got 1 copy of it though. Of course, Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. I know Jex has the single to this, and I believe the vinyl.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tape. My personal favorite album from Journey, Frontiers.
Yep, me too.
And it's got the this here, and it's got the ridge. The ridge.
Great album, man. They hadn't have ditched those 2 songs from side 2, it would be like top 5 of all time.
I don't know why they didn't just make it a 12-song album, but
yeah.
One of
our guys from the label.
Another one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
The Subject, the second album. And there's something interesting. This is another thing that I learned. Now this has got a barcode on it for the first time. There's that. Now this is something that I learned, with the MAPL. So if you notice, so first thing, it's like everything's filled in except the P.
Yeah.
Yet it was produced by Aldo Nova.
Oh, right.
And he's from Montreal. So
right.
I think it's because he recorded it in New York.
Oh, maybe.
So it's somewhere. It's like the producer has to be Canadian, but you also have to record it in Canada, and that's why some of the Aerosmith stuff that was done in Vancouver and Jim Vallance co-wrote, and some of that stuff weirdly qualifies as a few tracks from Pump that are considered CanCon.
Yeah, and why Adams lost out on some of his
because he moved to London and wrote with Mutt Lange, and yeah. One more, and another one of my favorites again. Not a common album, especially to find a Canadian copy. Kansas Drastic Measures from '83.
Another weird logo.
With this weird logo again. I think it's like the same one they used on Audio Visions, except that it's in red. And it's on the side here too. It's trademark, so you see this little trademark thing next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this has got the embossed here, the ridges, and here's what the cassette looks like, again, using that weird logo. So there you go. So it wasn't too long after this, and we will get to that when the episode comes, that they would switch to a much more familiar, and I'm going to say a much cleaner looking cassette.
Absolutely.
But that's what we've got for our Canadian CBS cassettes with the yellow on the side. Both Chris and Jax have shown you a preview of what's to come when they would come up with this magical formula for making them sound better. We'll get into that when the time comes. Hope you're tuned in for that one too. Thanks, Chris and Jax, for sitting in on this one.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Jax.
And we will see you all again on Tim's Vinyl Confessions.